Hey guys, welcome back. Another quick video. Banish the doubt. Real fast. I want to talk about definitions and also ways that we unconsciously self-sabotage our success. So if I or if someone comes up to you later today or tomorrow and says to you, you are a skuta, you'd say, okay, fine, whatever. But if someone comes up to you later today or tomorrow and says, dude, you're stupid, or sweetheart, you're stupid, how are you going to react? Definitions. We have a definition for that 5-letter word, stupid, stupid. It's just a word, but it's our definition of the word. That's what we need to control. Well, not so much control, but we need to understand it's our definitions. So I want you to think of it this way. Definition leads to a belief, leads to a feeling, leads to an emotion. Okay, so we have a definition, which ties into a belief. Okay, so stupid. We have a definition of what stupid means. It's a belief. So if you get upset, right, you get a feeling about this, ultimately you end up with an emotion. So if you want to find out why you have this emotion, well, what's the feeling you're feeling? What's the feeling you're having? Okay, negativity, hurt. Your ego is hurt. What's the belief you have? Well, the belief you have is if someone calls me stupid, they're putting me down. They're not putting you down, they're putting your ego down. That's a definition. The definition you have of the word is stupid means that I'm less than. I'm less than you, the person saying that. So if we understand that this emotion is coming from the feeling is coming from a belief, and the belief is coming from a definition, if we understand that words can never hurt us. Nobody can ever make us feel anything. We allow them, we give them permission to hurt us. We cannot be hurt. It's impossible for you and I to be hurt. The only way is our definitions leads to belief, leads to a feeling, leads to an end emotion. Okay? If someone were to come into your job and say, hey, there's going to be huge layoffs. They don't mention who, they don't mention how many, whatever, just say huge layoffs. How does that make you feel? If you're somebody who is dealing with some issues of self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, you feel, uh-oh, maybe it's me. It's your definition of layoff. Layooff. 6 letters. What's your belief? My belief is that layoffs mean bad things. It means that I may lose my job, lose my money, and I can't pay my bills. How's that making you feel, right? And there's the end emotion. So we start to look at and start to feel, we start to understand how we're feeling, what's leading to that, our definitions. So we start to look at what is true about this situation, true about myself in this situation that has me feeling this way. So, which leads me into self-sabotaging. A couple of things, how we unconsciously self-sabotage. The most powerful force in this world is yours and my self-identity. It's our personal identity, who we think we are, who we feel we are. It's the most powerful force in the world. So people who deal with or self-sabotage, namely, or one of the first things they came up with is that they focus on the past. The analogy is there's a reason why in our cars, the rear view mirror is much smaller than the windshield, because you want to focus on the future, which is the windshield. You want to take your eyes off of the past, which is the rear view mirror. But we focus on the rear view mirror, what's in the past. So people who unconsciously self-sabotage focus on the past. You know what's even bigger than the windshield? the inside of the car, the present moment. The most successful people in the world, guys, are the people who focus on the present moment. It's now o'clock. This is my watch here. When I push the button, that face should come out and should say NOW, now. It's always now o'clock. It's not in the past and it's not too far in the future. It's now. But we focus in the present with an eye, with an assumption towards our future. Take this and write this down. Deny the evidence of the senses and assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Whatever it is you want to do, be or have in your life, assume you occupy it now. That comes from a place of power, okay? Internal power, not external power, not power that the ego talks about, okay? Number two, people who self-sabotage unconsciously focus on lack, okay? Whenever you focus on lack, you end up replicating it. So we don't think about what we don't have. We think about whatever it is. So if you're dealing with an issue of maybe money right now, you don't have enough abundance or money, you think about and you focus on the fact that you have. Because money is just a byproduct of our thinking. That's all it is. Money is neutral. Okay? Situations, every event in life, guys, is neutral until we judge it with our feelings or our assumptions. So assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Deny the evidence of the senses. That's whatever we can see, we can hear, and we can smell. Okay? Whatever that is. Always understand that my external world is just a mirror, mirroring back to us what our thoughts are. Number three, the third way of many, but the third way I'll talk about tonight, the way that we self-sabotage, that we unconsciously do this, compare. We compare ourselves to others, especially on social media. Social media, guys, is just a filtered, sanitized version of somebody. Okay, the photo you and I see is maybe the 18th or 20th or 50th or 100th photo the person took, and they chose that one. It filtered through the other 20, 40, 50, 70, 80. It's sanitized. Okay, you want to scare the hell out of somebody? Take your phone and put it up and make believe you're going to take a photo of that person. Okay, and if you want to think of somebody who compares themselves with somebody else, you watch how that person reacts. And if they suddenly jump away or have to fix their hair or whatever, they're preoccupied with what other people think of them, not what they think of themselves. They think lack. Okay, that's somebody who is unconsciously dealing with lack with themselves. Okay, so always know this and write this down. Comparison is the thief of your joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. We never want to compare ourselves to anybody else. The person looking back at you in the mirror. When you go to sleep tonight, okay, you go brush your teeth, look in the mirror, appreciate that person. Tell that person you love them. Tell that person that they are enough, that they're deserving, that they're worthy of everything in this world. Because they are. You are. You out there watching this, you are worthy. You are deserving of everything that is good and great in this world. I could say this 1,000 times, but until you start to internalize it, until you start to recognize it, okay? I said earlier in an earlier video today that it was a quote by a gentleman from back in the 1800s. Right? It's amazing how when you start to think about, you start to really delve into this information, this becoming really introspective. It's amazing how far back you can go, thousands of years, hundreds of years, thousands of years, and the principles are still the same as they are today. They were talking about this thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. Okay, he said here. Let me just, I think you get it real quick. Write this down. The best way to keep a prisoner from escaping. The best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he or she never knows he or she is in prison. The best way to keep somebody in prison is to make sure he or she never knows they are in prison. You know how? This thing right here. The computer I'm videotaping through. The TV programs, the music we listen to. The energy from that, guys, debilitates us. We don't even realize it's how many. So I just talked about the car here a few minutes ago. Okay, this example of being in the car. How many times in the last week, or you know what, even better, this year, we're in April, today's April 1st. How many times this year, since January 1st, have you been in your car and taken this YouTube or whatever and linked it, or whatever they call that, Bluetooth, whatever it's called, to a video that is about self improvement, about introspection? Okay. Your car could literally be a university on wheels. We don't realize. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to music, because music is tremendous. Certain type of music, okay, it's tremendous. It makes you feel great in the moment. Maybe brings back certain, fond memories. I'm not saying that, but how often in your day do you say, you know what, I'm going to listen to this. I'm going to turn on a YouTube video. And Neville Goddard, okay, Feeling is a Secret, or Power of Assumption. There's a reason why, and I was explaining this earlier to my wife at dinner time. There's a reason why this book, Feeling is a Secret, or this book, Power of Assumption, or the book, Three Magic Words, or Letting Go, or Thomas Trower. Most people never even heard of this gentleman before, okay? Or this book, The Body Keeps the Score. There's a reason why. These are just a couple of books that I just pulled away from on my desk. None of this is ever required reading in our schools or our universities. Why? Because the best way to keep a prisoner from escaping is to make sure he or she never knows that they are in prison. The book, Feeling is a Secret, talks about this. The worst thing that, well, I forget how he said it, but for you and I to learn who we are, we become free and we escape from the prison. I'll say it that way. If you want to transcend and go above where you're at, if you want to break out of this prison of inside your mind of comparing yourself to others, of feelings of lack, on focusing on the past. If you want to break out of that prison that you have made unconsciously, okay, you want to start to learn about this stuff and learn about who you are, your core. Free yourself. Become free of all these the unconscious walls that you've built around yourself. I'm talking to you from somebody who has done this, okay? I nailed those suckers shut, man. I put those walls up around me, and I certainly did it. It was like built with concrete. You want to understand this stuff because this will set you free. Power is only given to those who dare to lower themselves and pick it up. My challenge to you tonight is, I challenge you, are you strong enough to bend down, to lower yourself and pick up the power? That's my challenge to you tonight. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you soon.